Hi. You say hi over here.
Hi.
Hey, Luigi's there. Say hi, Luigi.
Hi.
Say hi, Luigi.
Hi.
Say hi, Luigi. Luigi is the first one to type anything in there. Hi.
Hi.
So I'm not going to have a co-host today, but I will have a co-host for a few minutes. Yeah, you see the yellow heart there. See this yellow star there, yellow heart there, and yellow thing there. And Mommy's here.
Oh, you're saying hi?
She's saying hi.
Hi.
Now Kim's saying hi to everybody.
Okay, I'm gonna take a picture. This is so cute. This is so cute.
Oh, wait. And Earth.
Oh, no, there.
I
Loch Ness Mobster.
All right, handsome.
Mwah.
Let me get
Okay,
that.
just keep him down right there so we
don't.
can see.
Mama,
There we go.
I'm gonna take a walk.
All right, let's see. Where's this? There you go. You can't see him. She's taking him out. He has no pants on. So, all right. Desi Ann is here. Excellent. Welcome. So they're gonna go out for a walk as they do. Alex is here. And let's see. So, hello everybody. Hello over here on Locks and over here on Twitch. It's so wonderful to see you here today. To come and join me on my Twitch stream. Yeah, I'm talking like that for a minute. Work has drained me. I've missed so many of your streams. Well, I'm glad you were here. I'm gonna get me some water over here. You all right, baby?
I'm okay. Yeah.
You need help?
I'm okay.
Okay. All right. So now we're sitting back here. We're going to be talking about water today, actually, a little bit. I am going to do a Mind Scrambler podcast today, and I am going to talk about morning rituals. So what you do in your morning. You know, there we go. So what you do in your morning to start off your day. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. Right now, let's just hang out. Hero 101, you're a big fan of my voice work. Well, thank you very much. Weird question. You wouldn't happen to be related to Trey Cool from Green Day, would you? No, I would not. Water is healthy. Yes, my son is the cutest. That is true. And I already have an agent who is ready to represent him in LA. So that's interesting and fun. What the hell is that? On my finger. Okay, so let's make sure I was rocking and rolling, man. Let's see. Oh, shoot, I was just looking at the emotes. I forgot what that emote is for. You just shot it out there. I'm like, oh, darn, what does that mean? I forgot. I just read some of those. So I'm learning, people. I'm learning this stuff, man. Yeah, it has been an interesting day. Lots going on. This is going to be another podcast. I've been uploaded 2 more podcasts yesterday. I got several more coming. You can go to spikespencer.com/podcast and you will see them all there. The oldest ones are at the end, and you know what? I don't even care if they suck because it's really just me and you talking, you know. And those were all done in my booth back home in LA in Burbank, and so the sound quality is probably better. But you know what? It's really the content is excited or hype. PogChamp. Yeah, I remember that one. So whatever I'm saying to you guys, it's that's the takeaway. It's the subject of what I'm talking about. It's the tips, tools, techniques, tricks, etc. that I give you. That is what matters. And so today we're going to talk about mornings. What do you do with your mornings? I'm going to tell you a little bit about my morning rituals and how you can get started on the right foot during the day. Let's see. In your podcast also can tell some advice. Yes, I do. That's what my whole thing is. It's all about coaching. Because I am a coach. When you look at my website, spikespencer.com, all my bio and everything is all there. So you can look me up, and you know who I am in voice work. Most of you guys do, but you guys don't know all of the other work that I've done in the speaking in front of thousands internationally on self-help, personal growth, dating, relationships, communication, connection, etc., etc. So there is a lot going on. So my podcast is here to help you guys because my podcast right now is predominantly for our group, for our world, the nerddom world, with sci-fi, comics, animation, video games, anime, etc., all of that. And that's where I'm focusing on right now with you guys. And that's what the Reluctant Hero's Journey focuses on as well. So I'm expanding that. I want to grow that. So I'm working on marketing of that. I'm working on getting my podcast out there now, getting as many episodes out that I can say, okay, look, this podcast is established. You have plenty to listen to, check out. And then I'm going to start reaching out to guests, which is going to be pretty darn awesome. And I'm excited about that once I learn how to do that. Got your Zoom set up, Alex. Awesome. Hey, Kagato, what's up? Sorry, man. Sorry I didn't get to get in touch with you yesterday. Lots going on. I have been uploading and editing my podcasts and getting them out there. So that's the main thing I've been working on. So now I think I'm up to 7 or 8 now that are ready to go, and they should be going up on iTunes. I still can't find them in iTunes unless it's like a certain like podcast / Apple / blah, 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 and there they are. But interesting. It's there. Neon just background. I just learned you can do backgrounds for Zoom. I may try that today. I got a Zoom meeting with one of you gentlemen here, and I may try that with the Simpsons background. Pretty cool. And there's a Family Guy background that I have too. So I'll figure that out. Anywho, that's what's going on. I had some more information on the COVID, all this craziness front, and yes, there are some very bad things that are happening. Zoom is an online meeting video chat thing. So I use Zoom for all of my business coaching, and it works really well. But anyway, one of my contacts, he said, yeah, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of falsification. There's some bad stuff going on. It doesn't mean don't run out and party or anything like that. No, it's all very real. There's also people taking a lot of advantage of this, and there's some bad things coming down the pipeline. So keep your eyes open, people. That's all I'm saying. And of course, wash your hands. Stay inside. Do what you need to do. Everybody social distance, etc. The main thing, and I've told you guys about this before, is you've got to build up your immune system because it attacks your immune system. And being inside is one of the worst things you can do because sunlight helps your immune system, gives you vitamins, and it kills viruses. They learned this in the wars. They knew that. They would put sick patients outside in the sun because it made them healthier. So those things, eat right, eat good foods, eat lots of leafy greens, have vitamin C and have some extra zinc and all that good stuff. Get your immune system up. Watch funny things. If you're watching stuff, do something that makes you laugh. Do something that makes you feel good. Do something that makes you feel gratitude, that makes you feel in a good place, in a good frequency, vibration, etc., yada, yada, yada. Your immune system will thank you, and it will fight very hard for you. Because we are a big bag of tons of viruses and all sorts of things, but they all work in conglomeration. We're all kinds of, well, there's viruses, but we've got, antibodies or something. I don't even know what the right words are, but we have so many crazy things going on that we are a very, very amazing machine, and we can heal ourselves. So by having a good, solid immune system going in, you won't have to worry about a lot of this stuff. So, and being in fear is definitely messing you up. So do not be afraid. Do not fear. It is not coming for you. It's not the zombie apocalypse, not even close. So, and if you're watching mainstream media, that's part of the mainstream media. That is a huge part of the problem. Go to sources you know and trust. Do not go to anybody that is 100% one way or the other. Get some actual scientific information. If somebody posts something, I did a podcast. I don't know if I did a podcast. I think I did. I did. I did a podcast on they. You say, well, they say. There is no they. They does not exist. That's crap. So you've got to watch what you're being fed, and that's all I'm saying. So do your own work. Do your own research. Make sure it's somebody you trust. I have somebody I trust who is incredibly well connected, very, very high. So he's been saying some things that are disconcerting, but it definitely makes me want to stay in Australia for a while. Anyway, so imagine myself as Spike Spencer does Beastars in a dream. I don't even know what Beastars is. I've heard of it. But right now I'm not doing much of anything. I do have a session on Friday that we're figuring out how to make that happen from down here. So I'm going to do it back in... What is... This is what I see. You are silly. Go show mommy. Go show mommy. That is loopy. Are you guys leaving anytime soon?
I just had to eat something real quick.
Okay.
Come on, handsome.
They say hello to Decky. Say hi, Decky. There you go. You got a hi from him.
You don't want those
Say
wrappers?
bye-bye.
I'll eat some.
All right, I'm going to be starting my podcast here in just a few minutes. So for those of you on Unlocked and for those of you here on Twitch, if you're on Unlocked, please go over to Twitch. I would appreciate that. Give me a follow at Spike Spencer Speaks, and please watch over there. I got to build up the viewers and build up all of my time and et cetera, et cetera. And I'm getting there. I'm figuring it out. So the main thing is for me to be consistent with you guys here. Thank you, darling. So that's my goal today, is to give you guys a really good podcast. And we're going to talk about, like I said, we're going to talk about morning rituals and things, but I'll get into that on the podcast. And that's pretty much it. Does anybody have any questions right now about like morning rituals or anything like that? How to start your day off strong and solid, baby, solid. Let's see, it'd be nice if I could get this microphone closer to my face. Hi, everybody. How you doing? Doesn't that sound great? That sounds very sexy, doesn't it? Yeah, it's okay. Don't worry about it. It's all good. Oh, okay, you can put it in slow mode. Awesome. So one of my moderators over here on Twitch is just letting everybody know, because once I start my podcast, I won't be answering any questions for 30 minutes, because I want my podcast to go about 30 minutes. And then we go from there. So that's what I'm about to do, about to start. Let's make it happen. Okay. I have some water. I am lubricated. I am ready to bring the value down for y'all. Yo. Having a morning ritual, virus is taking it morning to morning. What? A virus is taking it morning to morning. No, I don't know what that means, my friend. Okay, cool. We are ready to go over here on Twitcheroo. Again, please, if you're on Unlocked, please go over to Twitch. I appreciate that. Eventually, I will only be on Twitch. So, all right, let's talk it out. I think I'm going to call this, Hey Morning Glory, what's your story? Here we go. Purpose of having a morning ritual versus taking it morning to morning. Well, we're going to talk about that. All right, here we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Mind Scrambler podcast. Today, I am Spike Spencer. Actually, every day I am Spike Spencer, and I'm your host here at the Mind Scrambler podcast. And today I wanted to talk about morning rituals. How to use them. What are yours? What are mine? Why are they important? Are they important? Does anybody really give a crap? I don't know. I'm just a guy with a microphone talking to you from Australia. Yes, that's right. Right now, I am still in Australia. I don't know when you're watching this podcast, if I'm not really doing it as a series, but these are all live from Australia from, I don't know how I'm going to number them actually, but this is during the COVID outbreak of 2020. Today is April 14th, 15th, down here, 15th. So it's April 14th in the States right now, back in Burbank, where I am from. And I think it's the afternoon there right now. It's like noon here, so it's the evening there. It's been really wild doing these podcasts and doing these broadcasts, whether it's a podcast or not, with the time difference. Because, for some of my friends, I'm like, hey, guess what? I'm 15 hours ahead of you. Let me tell you what's happening in the future. It's crazy. But it's no crazier than anything that's going on right now in actual life. It really is. This is like the most bizarre movie that you could think of that we're all living in. This weird dystopian future. We're all stuck inside for the most part. We can all still go outside depending on where you are. Some places you cannot go outside at all, which I really feel for you guys because that's got to be quite difficult. Fortunately, we have a balcony here, and we can go out anytime we want. We just look over there, and there's the beach. So we made a very good decision to stay in Australia. And I have worked really hard to get all my podcasts up and running. And now, as of this moment today, I have 8 finished podcasts that are already up on my site or about to be on my site and on iTunes. So the momentum is going. We're using this time to be very, very productive, which leads me into the morning rituals. Most people that are listening to this podcast are already in a mindset of personal growth or self-help or just interested in what the hell this Spike guy has to say. And is he going to talk like a weirdo at all? Well, there's a good possibility that could happen. Yes, sir. It could. But for the most part, I am very, very cognizant of what I do every day, as is my wife, because we know what we do in the morning sets the tone for the rest of the day. And every day is interesting now for most of us because it's very, very structured differently than we used to. So all of our morning rituals have probably gotten kind of shot to hell in many ways. Ours, fortunately, was not because I take that back. Ours was too because we lived with Kim's parents. So we have built-in babysitters, which is yay. And now we're here in Australia back to just the 3 of us, and we have to work together because Kim coaches in the morning. So what does she have to do? She gets up at 5 a.m. and goes for a jog, which to me is nutty pants. I am not getting up at 5 to go running unless something's chasing my ass. But she loves it. It makes her feel good for the rest of the day. Personally, I'll go running later on this afternoon after a nap. That's kind of how I roll. Once I have my afternoon nap, then I can get out and go do some workout as far as physicality goes. But now lots of people in the mornings, they need that jolt, that exercise jolt. And if you don't have that in the morning, you might want to check on that. You might want to try that. You might want to wake up and try something that gets you going. It may suck at first. You may not want to do it. I have gotten up early in the morning and gone running. Back in Burbank, I would do that to get my blood pumping, but I couldn't run in the morning for decades because of my back. My back hurt so much that I would get up and I had to warm it up for the day before I could do anything. And if I was going to work out, it would be in the afternoon. Some of you may have a physical situation that stops you from being physical in the morning. I urge you strongly to check out the writings of Dr. John Sarno. He had a book called Healing Back Pain. It goes much deeper into that. And someone named Joe Dispenza. Those 2 authors can show you how to heal yourself, and it's very powerful. It does take work. Hey, you could put it in your morning ritual. That would be pretty cool. And the reason I'm just going on this part right now for the morning ritual because so many people do start their day with a workout. And they get a lot of your high achievers, definitely your athletes for the most part. They get up and immediately give their bodies a jolt of physical action, some adrenaline, some endorphins, some, all the good stuff that you need. And that might be something you want to look at. You want to check out. Give it a try. Give it a shot. Wake up, take a walk around the park, around the block, around your living room at this point in time, about 25, 35 times. I knew, here's something that happened whenever I had my spine fused. They said you need to walk a certain amount a day, and it was incredibly painful. So it was like the first day, it was like 10 steps, and I was back in the bed. Well, the first day, it was like a step and then back into the bed. I got out of the bed and like, oh, God, no. The next day, I was like, okay, I'm going to take a step. I took one step and then back in the bed, then 2, then 4, then 8. And it got to the point I knew in my living room, around my living room at the time, it was a certain amount of steps around that living room made a quarter of a mile or a half a mile or whatever it was. That was my morning ritual. And I got back up and running, pretty quick. And I say back up and running, I wasn't really running, but physically I was strong and I was moving forward. And that was a morning ritual every day. Once you get your ritual going, whatever that ritual is, it will become a habit after a certain amount of time. And let me give you some ideas of other things that can help you in the morning with your success determination, your success outlook on the rest of the day. First of all, one thing that a lot of people do besides physicality is meditation. Now, I'm not really one to do a meditation in the morning personally because I'm tired, and people say, get up and then sit there and relax. I'm like, if I get up, I sit there and relax, I'm going to go back to sleep. So I don't do that, but I do automatically when I wake up, I think about my day. And I think, this is an awesome day. This is going to be an awesome day. Even if I don't, it didn't matter if I even just had a bad dream and I'm just like, I don't feel good, I'm hungover, or I'm tired, or I didn't get any sleep last night, or whatever. I take a couple of deep breaths. This is an amazing day. I'm going to do something amazing today. Think that thought. Say those words. Because what you say in the morning matters a little bit more than it does the rest of the day, because your mind is still in that arena where it's kind of like, yeah, it's still open to suggestion. It's still open to outlook. It's like it's kind of dream time. And if you know in like shamanism or even Aboriginal cultures, they talk about dream time. And dream time is that state right before sleep and right when you're out of sleep. And that's an incredibly productive time if you can actually utilize it. And so that's what I'll talk about. Before you go to sleep, you can also set parameters for your subconscious mind, et cetera, et cetera. But this is about the morning. So in the morning, if you are one of those people that can meditate, I recommend you do. I have a kind of moving meditation that I do. For me, it depends on my son and what Kim has going on. If Kim is up and running and he wakes up, it's all me. I've got to wake up. I've got to get him prepped. I got to get him, running around. I got to get ready for breakfast. I got to make breakfast. There's a lot of things I have to do. I got to clean the dishes. So that's kind of my morning ritual. Is I get up and I get some coffee going. I do like coffee. That is my thing. But sometime in there, I have a mind feed moment. This is the big part. The mind feed moment is for you, is for setting yourself up for a good, solid day. The mind feed moment is, instead of waking up and looking at your phone, listening to the news, any of that crap, you start filling your head with positivity from the beginning. From the beginning. As soon as you can, even if you can roll over out of bed, if that's the way you do it, if you want to roll over out of bed and read some, a solid book, a book that is teaching you how to be a better human being. Like I'm reading Letting Go right now, which is an exceptional book. Or I'll reread The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, or The Science of Getting Rich, or As a Man Thinketh. Those are some of my go-to books. I've got to read the Kabbalion. I haven't read that yet. There's a lot of books. The Four Agreements. I mean, I can give you a list of dozens of books that are awesome. But you want something that feeds your mind in a very good way. And that I have found to be my most powerful. And the way I do it is interesting. And I do it with my book. I'll read out loud while I'm walking in an infinity. It's not an infinity circle, but I guess it's called an infinity circle. That infinity, it's like the two loops that you just go back and forth to infinity, right? This is the symbol for infinity. And the reason why I do that is there are several reasons why. One, the infinity circle keeps me from getting dizzy. Because if you just go in a circle, you start going, and then you need to change the circle. But if you do it in an infinity circle, you walk back and forth, it corrects itself. And obviously the infinity symbol is a symbol for the learning and the infinity of expansion, etc. That's just, for me, that's how it works. The other reason I do it out loud is A, to warm up my voice for the day, and B, to retain what I'm reading better. See, if you read something, now my numbers that I'm going to tell you here are maybe a little bit off, but when you read something, you only take in about 10% of it. If you watch a video, I think you take in like 20%, something like that. And if you are actively doing something, doing a lesson, then you will retain it by like 75%, something like that. Well, I'm not actively doing the lesson, but I am doing something active while I am reading. So that helps my retention. So I can now, when I'm reading that book, I am bringing in more information into my brain. Plus, the information that I'm bringing into my brain is of a positive, life-expanding nature. So in the morning, I wake up and I'm expanding my life. I'm expanding my knowledge. I'm expanding my capabilities for self-improvement and personal growth as soon as I possibly can. And that is what I highly, highly recommend for you is Mind Feed in the morning. And that is very, very important. If you've got a podcast that you listen to that is a very uplifting podcast, like I've recommended Jim Fortin, The Manifestation Babe, James Wedmore, Ed Milet, sometimes Gary Vaynerchuk, if you want more business stuff. There are a lot of wonderful podcasts that I recommend, and sometimes that's what I'll do. I'll put one on while I'm doing the dishes or while I'm cooking breakfast. And that's something that I think that's the most important part about your day. It's not about the morning ritual per se. It's about setting your mind in the morning. When they say mindset, it's like setting your mind, because once you do that, you started your day on a positive note. What do most people do? Most people wake up, roll over, and grab their phone. There's a lot that can be said about that. Now, the technical aspect of it, I don't know, but people say do not sleep with your phone next to your bed. I'm not saying it's a 5G thing or a 2G thing or whatever it is, but there are, yes, definitely frequencies that are zipping and zapping throughout the night. So I don't have my phone by my bed. I leave the phone in the other room. I know people that some of my coaches, they turn off everything. They're like, no 5G. They don't even have any Wi-Fi in their house whatsoever. They stick with Ethernet for everything that they do, which is not a bad idea, actually, if you think about it, because the Ethernet is what I'm running this on right now with Twitch, and it's working better than any of the Wi-Fi I've ever had. So that's there's something to be said for that. But when you're working with a laptop and running around in the house and you want to be mobile, that's kind of hard. But at night, you might want to look into that, because sometimes if you have trouble sleeping, that could be something that could be affecting it. So that when you wake up in the morning, if you don't have energy, you're obviously not getting enough sleep. And I'm going to talk about that near the end, some different ways to get to sleep so that you can wake up and have your morning rituals. The other morning ritual I want to touch on is water. In the morning, you want to, I think it's 20 ounces of water you want to replenish immediately, because you've been probably 8 hours or so, hopefully 8 hours, without water. And you need a nice hit of hydration. Now, something that I do, that I learned from Jim Fortin actually, is to also get in a good mindset in the morning. The first thing I will do is I'll put the water to my heart, and I will bless the water. And I would say, thank you. I bless this water for, whatever, just to put some good mindset frequency yabba dabba on it. Because it's not about, blessing the water per se, but it's about how you eat, how you ingest things, how you are being in your mind, what your physical state is, actually affects how you digest. It actually affects how you bring in nutrients. We are all energetic. All of this is verified by science, guys. It ain't just woo-woo anymore. There's a lot of science behind all this stuff now. They're going, wow, you know what? That really is something. What you eat really does matter. How you eat, how you feel really does matter. The blessing, when people say, we're saying grace, it's like, well, religiously, I'm not a religious guy. So I haven't said grace. My parents, my parents-in-law, my in-laws, very religious, always pray before. And I'm like, that's cool. Not good, not bad. I don't mind. Because it's really a mindset thing. Well, same thing goes in the morning. Getting your mindset set in the correct direction, might as well start with your water and just be thankful. Have gratitude for that water, and it will change the way you feel. Because the gratitude is what will bring your immunity up. So if I was going to say in the morning, what do you do if you want to build your immune system, start your day off right, and just get in gear? Well, the first thing is get your mind in gear with the water, with blessing the water, or at least being grateful, thanking, the universe, thanking everything that you have water, because that's something to be grateful for. You have water. Some people have to hike for miles to get clean water. You have it right there. You got a tap, turn it on, boom, fine. That may not be the best, great. Filter your water and then boom, be thankful for that. Whatever it is, that's something to be grateful for. The fact that you are breathing, grateful. The fact that there's sun out or cloudy out or raining out or whatever, there is a day out there, grateful. That is an important part of your morning ritual, is being grateful. That also builds your immune system. Being grateful, gratitude builds your immune system. There's a whole lot on that online. Look at YouTube, Joe Dispenza, coronavirus, etc., immunity. You'll find it. That's not my forte, but I do know that is true. And your immune system, if you're building it, especially in these crazy ass times, then that is a plus. So start your day off building your immune system, hydrating yourself, and feeding your mind with positivity. That's an awesome win. That's an awesome way to start your day. Then, if you're going about your day, you want to start your day fueled properly. I can't even tell you what being fueled properly is for you. There have been so many different diets out there, so many different quote-unquote studies that say, oh, eat right for your blood type, or, you should have all juices, which is a complete fallacy, because that's basically straight sugar with none of the actual the pulp that holds everything together and helps you digest it correctly. It's like an overload for certain parts of your immune system and your your gut. It's a mess. So there's so many things that we've been told. It's like, oh, have a high protein diet, have this. You know what? Find out what works for you. I like a nice breakfast. Coffee first thing in the morning may not be the best thing for me, but I've been doing it for about 30 years, so that's what I do. I like it. Weird thing. I used to get shaky in my heart palpitations, and we thought it was coffee. I have coffee all the time now. I don't have any heart palpitations. It's not that. It was in my brain. I fixed that. So anyway, there's that. But whatever you do in the morning, find out what works for you to make you the most productive and energetic. For example, Kim loves sauteed kale in the morning. So she'll have a bunch of kale and an egg or two on top of that. I mean, that's really, really good for you, obviously. It would drive me freaking nuts. I will have some kale sauteed and scrambled up with eggs and maybe some sausage or some bacon. I miss bacon. Guys, I'm just going to say this as a side note. I'm in Australia. Their bacon is ham. It's basically Canadian ham, a Canadian bacon. So I have not found actual bacon here. Going on 2 months, no bacon. And I'm sad. Where's my bacon? Nyah. Anyway, that was my side note. Damn, I really want some bacon now. I messed myself up. All right. So where we are now with our morning ritual is we wake up, we mind feed. Do not reach for your phone. Do not turn on the news. There is no good news there. If you want some good news, go to YouTube and find somebody that's saying only good news. So what's good today? Let me tell you. I know John Krasinski's doing something like that. Hey, there's good news. Here's the good news. So that's fun. And hydrate yourself. Eat some good food. Maybe you do something physical. Whatever you do, find out what works for you to get you at your best self as soon as possible. If you are sluggish and slow and not sleeping well, or if you wake up tired, which I've had this issue, I wake up in the middle of the night quite a bit, usually for a couple of hours. I toss, I turn, my mind is just going blah, 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 blah. I've got a song in my head. I'm still working on finding out what works for me to get me in that sleep arena. But if you're having an issue, you might have sleep apnea, and which I know I do. I snore horribly. So once we get back and get things back to normal a little bit, I'll go check on that, see how I can fix that. Because if I could sleep solidly through the night, that would be great, because you need 7 to 8 hours of sleep. If you're getting 5 or 6, you're thinking, man, I'm just rocking and rolling because I'm only on 4 hours of sleep. You are just buying your time till you collapse, and your health is really messed up. This is science, guys. This is science. 7 to 8 hours is what you need, and it needs to be good sleep. And it needs, because that 7 to 8 hours is when your body is fixing itself. It's healing, it's rehabbing, it's getting healthier. And if you neglect that time, your body does not get that chance. Thus, once again, lowering your immune system. So a couple of things that I've learned through some of my coaches are don't eat, I think it's like 3 hours before you go to bed. No TV or no TV, no phone, no nothing. I believe it's at least 1 hour before you go to bed, possibly 2. You have to wind down from the day. And if you're feeding your mind, you're feeding that whole fight or flight mechanism that we have daily, because normally we are so inundated with messages. Your mind can only process so many bits of data, and we're getting inundated with like 11 million bits of data, and we can only process like 142 bits a second, and we're getting like 11 million or something like that. It's crazy. It's crazy numbers. I don't know what the numbers are exactly, but it's crazy numbers. So your mind is constantly going, fight or flight. We don't have that rejuvenation time. So you need that to sleep so that you can wake up and do your morning rituals. Those are important. It has been found that the temperature at which you sleep is very important, and I believe it's between 65 and 68 degrees. That's right, people. Make it chilly. Get a blanket. Because that is I guess it's the hibernation mode that we go into, and I love it. I love it when it's really, really cold and I've got a blanket, so I'm hibernating like a bear. I tend to sleep better. Well, that is actual science. There is science behind that says, yes, you will sleep better that way. So those are some tips and tricks to help you get there. And one thing that I like to do, and I should do it more often, but you can, at night, before you go to bed, if you say a prayer, great. If you don't, no problem there. But do a second. It could be 10 seconds. Just say, I'm grateful for this day. I'm grateful for the sleep I'm going to get tonight. And you can instruct your subconscious mind. You tell your subconscious mind. You say, subconscious mind, my infinite subconscious mind, I am going to sleep well tonight, and you are going to make it so. So I'm thanking you now for helping me to sleep through the night, all the way through, and wake up in the morning fully energized. That is what is going to happen. So thank you. And so it is. And try that. Try that. Just try it. Can't hurt anything, because you can talk to your subconscious mind. I've gone over this in some of my other podcasts, but let me just reiterate. The best, I guess it was the best, what's the word I'm looking for? Man, what is the word I'm looking for? It starts with an M. It's not a metaphor. There it is. The best metaphor for your subconscious mind is your conscious mind is the captain of a submarine. Your subconscious mind is the guy in the back who runs everything, who never sees you, but all he does is take orders. And no matter what comes down, they say, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. It doesn't matter. And that thing that comes down from you to your subconscious mind can be positive or negative. It does not matter. And that subconscious mind way in the back of the submarine is going to go, yes, sir, you got it. Yes, sir, yes, sir. And they're going to follow up on whatever that order is. So you have to be cognizant of the orders that you are giving your subconscious mind. Because if you say, I'm ordering you, we're going to have a wonderful sleep tonight. I thank you for helping me to do that. And so it is, et cetera, et cetera. And then you go, yeah, but I never fall asleep. That's the last thing your subconscious is going to hear. And guess what's going to happen? You're never going to fall asleep. So be careful what you're telling yourself. That's a whole other podcast. I've covered a lot of that in a couple others. I'll probably really go back into that on a future podcast. But for today, I want to just leave you with your morning ritual can be a very powerful asset to your life and to your success in relationships, in love, in dating, in whatever it is, because it sets the tone. When you set your tone for the day with a positive intention, this is an amazing day. I am going to make it an amazing day. Well, if you start with that positive intention and suddenly you get hit with some bad news, you go, that's okay. I'm in a good space. I can deal with that. And I'm going to deal with that and have an amazing outcome. If you're in a crappy mood, you wake up and I'm like, oh God, this sucks this day. I don't want to do anything. You get hit with some bad news. It's like, well, there it is. That's my life. It just sucks. And your day is off to a rip-roaring crap-ass start. So don't do that. Don't have this incredible weight tied to your ankles and your back and your head and your mind in the morning. Start off light. Start off airy. Start off hydrated, start off in a good mindset, find something to read that is solid, that is very, very good mind feed, or a podcast, something to feed your brain. No more news, no more phone, especially going through the socials and seeing how everybody's grateful for all their awesomeness. And it's like, wow, where am I? It suddenly pins you against other people. So don't do that. Don't compare. That's another podcast as well. But the main thing is get your mind in the right frame of mind, get your mind headed the right direction in the morning, first thing, because it is your mind, not somebody else's. Don't start your day off on somebody else's agenda. Start your day off with your agenda, in power, in personal growth, and you will have a much better day. And with that, I am going to leave you today. Today is your morning rituals, morning manifestation, mindset, happiness, and all of that. Moving forward, I wish you the best day, the best morning, the best night, the best afternoon, whatever it is where you are, because I'm in Australia. I have no idea what time it is anywhere else in the world. I think you are awesome, and you got this. So keep strong, keep moving. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the Mind Scrambler podcast. This is the Mind Scrambler show. So I hope that message was good for some of you guys. You all have your morning rituals right now. You all have one, whatever it is. You've been doing it. You've probably done the same thing every day for the last week, month, years, etc. So think about how you might be able to tweak yours today, how you might be able to tweak whatever you're doing now just a little bit. Don't change everything up because that's a hard thing to do, hard thing to switch a habit and just do something completely different. It's better to make little tweaks. Like the first tweak, the main tweak I just said is do not start your day off with news or the phone. That is bad. That is bad. That is a lot of negativity just jumping out at you. Plus, I didn't say this, but if you are living with people that are negative, and yes, a lot of these people are your family, and you wake up and you go downstairs and the first thing out of their mouth, they've been up for 30 minutes or whatever, so they're already running their programs and everything. If there's bad news, that's what everybody starts off with. Did you hear about who died today? Or, oh my gosh, we're having this issue and blah, blah, blah. That energy goes right at you. And you are still in the mindset of, hey, I just need coffee and I want to get my mindset settled for an hour. I need that hour in the morning to do whatever, or just to be silent, or whatever it is you got to do. You have to be protective of that space. It's your mind. You're in charge. So if somebody comes at you and goes, oh my God, did you talk to the hand? No. I'm sorry, I love you, but no, that does not happen in my day. My day is my morning. I start out with a positivity, and that's how I roll. And I do that. I tell people that. And they come at me and start talking about stuff. I'm like, please stop. I'm not ready. I'm not in the mindset. I can't do it. And just stay positive. You start out, because let me tell you, man, life can be a crap show in many cases. I've gone through a lot of crap. So much crap. And it's been an incredible test for me as a coach, as a positive thinker, to keep my shit together. I ain't gonna lie. And there are a lot of things that come at me, and you've got to go, okay, give it your superhero, boom. Say, back off. Now, let me get in my mindset, get into my strength, and then boom. Okay, what's the problem? That is not a problem. It is a challenge. What is the challenge? How do I fix this? How do I make this thing work? How do I move it this way and that way? We talked about that a little bit yesterday. So that is something you have to be ready for. You have to be in control. Let's see, battle readiness, in a sense, got to get psyched up before sit reps. Yes, actually, and that is more going into getting into state, which your morning rituals do help you do. And then there are other ongoing rituals that can help you throughout your day. As a matter of fact, and I'll talk about this at another time as well, but Brendan Bouchard, he talks about scientifically, it's a 50-minute cycle. Every 50 minutes, 50, every 50 minutes you need to stop. Whatever you're doing, you're in the middle of whatever you're doing. If you're working on the computer or everything, stop. Get up, take 5 minutes, drink some water, do some stretching. He does some qigong, some energy work, and it's the cupping and cupping, and all that. And just gets going, and then comes back down and goes, sets the timer for 50 minutes and goes back at it. You'll hear this from a lot of coaches because that is a proven system. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not the best at that. I'll get into things, but with my son, I'm working on something. I get 10 minutes, and it's daddy, yes. So I got to work, and okay, great. And then 2 hours goes by, but I've been working in like 5-minute increments because he's like, daddy. Anyway, I love him. It is important that I keep my mindset good and ready for some online classes. Absolutely. Now, here's something for your online classes. Don't neglect your physicality. If you've got online classes, before the class starts, like 5 minutes before, do some calisthenics, do some stretching. It doesn't have to be crazy. You don't have to work up a sweat. Do some squats, do some push-ups, do whatever it is. Get your mindset into a solid state. Maybe even listen to some music that gets you pumped up, and then you're like, all right, let's do this. Let's learn. Boom. boom, and you're ready to go. Whereas if you get it, if you're like, okay, now teach me something. That's great. Yeah, that's not really going to work for you too well. So when you get into state and you go, okay, I'm interested in this because whatever I am learning right now is going to help me in my brain, in my heart, in my mind, in my business, in my life, in my relationships, my communication and connection, etc. That matters. That matters a lot. So remember to get yourself into a nice physical, emotional state before, so that you can look forward to it and be ready. Online school, very physically, graduate from high school, mid-jog, last final on my phone. Cool. That's awesome. There you go. So you can run. That's the thing. See, I used to do this. I added to my morning ritual was I had a rebounder back home, and the rebounder is one of the best things for you physically. It's just the little mini trampoline that you bounce on, but you kind of jog or whatever. You can bounce and move, and etc. In the morning, it's good, especially if you have some back issues. It's more soft than like jogging. And if you're bouncing on that, what I would do is I would watch videos. For example, on my bank code personality sales training, I would watch the videos of Sherry, who is the inventor and my mentor. She would be doing these video presentations. Well, something that I also know how to do is it's called audio prompting. So if I'm watching a video, I can speak that video almost at exactly the same time that video is going. Because I used to do the audio prompting is you have an earphone in your ear and you had a little recorder, now a digital recorder, but it used to be a little tape recorder. You'd have it in your pocket. And I would do live presentations this way too. I would read the script into the recorder and then I would just press play. And as it's going in my ears, it's coming out my mouth. So when I'm working out on my rebounder and I'm watching the video and I'm speaking the video, I'm getting visually, I'm speaking it, and I'm doing something physical. So I'm taking in more information at that time. And that was part of my morning ritual. For 20 minutes, I would do that. And that's how I learned a lot. And I would redo the videos from time to time. Start it from the beginning, go all the way to the end, and then start over. And do it until it was so ingrained in me. It's like, boom, this is why I can talk like this for 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, just off the cuff, because I have done this so many times. And I've trained so much that it's ingrained in me. So when I've got a thought that I'm going, sometimes I go off on a tangent, but I always bring it back, because that tangent is something that I am like, okay, logically, they need this tangent. And then I bring it back to, boom, like the morning ritual, which is what we just talked about. How about them apples, y'all? Yeah, how about them apples, eh? Yeah. So, does anybody, see, I am a great grammaticist. Does anyone have any questions about morning rituals or anything to add, anything that they would like to touch on Unlocked over here or the Mind Scrambler podcast, or where you can find it at spikespencer.com/podcast. And some on iTunes somewhere, I guess. I'm still trying to figure out how to find that. Yeah, that's what's happening, y'all. All right, cool. Well, I have a coaching call tomorrow morning for a couple of hours, so I'll be coming hot off of a coaching call for my podcast tomorrow. I don't know what all we're going to talk about, but it probably will not be the Mind Scrambler podcast unless I have something I really want. You wish it was in Spotify. I'll get it there. I'll figure out how to get it into Spotify as well. I mean, my podcasts are laid back, man. I mean, it's just me chatting and talking with you guys about whatever it is I've got in my mind. And I want to give you positivity. I want to give you techniques and tools. And these things, again, these are coming from my coaches who coach some of the biggest people in the world. So the things that I'm telling you are coming from the top of the top. And this is what some people do. Now, some people have no morning rituals whatsoever, and they're making billions of dollars. Great, that's fine. It's not for everybody, but find yours. Find yours. The main thing is when you do get up, just get that mindset working. Get in that positive mindset, because that is important. to have that positive mindset. Because if you start your day as Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh, oh, well, doesn't matter, everything's messed up anyway. Well, nobody wants to be around that. So, make yourself prettier. Positivity makes you prettier. That'd be a great podcast. Positivity makes you pretty. Well, make you pretty. Make you super pretty. And that is what's awesome about positivity. So, I guess we should go ahead and wrap it up since nobody has any more questions for me. Alex, I will see you in just a little bit, and I think I gave you the Zoom Connect, so we'll pop on there in a little bit, and that's about it, guys. For those of you that are in the Reluctant Heroes journey, I'm glad you are there. I hope you're doing well. I hope you are making the connections as we said. And, oh, you're welcome, Captain Nim. One of my favorites is the red pill, blue pill from the Matrix. Oh, I help people see the Matrix. I help people see the relationship matrix. If you knew all the stuff that I can show you in coaching and real, I like down and dirty one-on-one that I do for business people, you'd be like, holy crap, that's freaky. And you can always learn a lot of the connection in dating world from my book, Food Game, A Man's Ultimate Recipe for Dating Success. Because I got some stuff in there for you guys. And I'll be working on something for the ladies as well, I guess. I don't know. I'm working on it. I'm trying to figure it out. But I've got a month of being hella productive. And so I've got more things to do. All right, guys. Have an amazing day. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, do it well. Do it positively. Do it happily. And stay healthy. And stay sane. Stay vigilant. That I mean. All right. Talk to you later. See you guys on Unlocked maybe tonight. Maybe Twitch tonight. Maybe Facebook fan page tonight. I could be anywhere. I'm like savoir-faire. I'm everywhere. All right. Here we go. And we stop on Twitch.